Hello, this will be a channel message for you, for your highest good, and I trust that it found you at the perfect time. I really appreciate you being here with me in this moment, and as always, I love you so much, and I am so proud of you. And if this reading found you today, thank goodness you're here, because the world really needs somebody like you right now. Thank you so much for being you, and thank you for showing up here today. You're an absolute superstar. And if you've been here for a while, you do know that we tend to call it like it is here on this channel. And if there's work to be done, we definitely call it out and make it known. And I have to say, truthfully, that in the history of this channel, I have never been given the opportunity to do a reading for such a well-rounded and balanced kind of energy. So hats off to you guys. Thank you so much for showing up again. And yeah, big ups to you guys. I see you showing up as the World card in the centerpiece of the reading today. This card's been showing up quite a bit recently, so you might feel like there's some kind of completion, spiritual graduation, integration, feelings of wholeness, and you've expanded into a more complete being that's ready to birth a new universe into existence. There's an entirely new life experience on the other side of this. There's a new identity that feels more true to who you really are. There's real wisdom and experience here. The World card is ruled by Saturn. So this is very real, and you're going to be able to use this applied wisdom moving forward. I've been getting the number 10 coming up for me a lot synchronistically in the past day or so. So if you cast your mind back to like the past 10 months or even the past 10 years, you might be able to find that there's some kind of start and end point when it comes to this cycle. And if you look at the prime number relationships for 10, you get the number 29 and the number 109. Those numbers might have some kind of significance here. And when I think about the number 10, I get the Wheel of Fortune too, which is not on the board today, but it really makes me think that it may feel like there's some kind of luck that is at play here. There's some kind of cosmic force. But what I want to say is that you don't get into this energy by accident. So definitely take the time to celebrate this achievement, whether it's being reflected in your external reality or it just feels like an internal, even a more spiritual sense of accomplishment. Take that time to celebrate yourself and celebrate all of the hard work that you have done to get to this point, because the rest of the spread really reflects this. And it's not just luck, it's your connection to your soul and your higher self which has been driving you forward. And there's part of this experience that's being dictated by your soul's desires here on this earth, what it really wanted to achieve and accomplish and experience and enjoy while you spend your time here. So there is some kind of like a period of recognition and reflection I think is definitely needed here. So again, like, big ups to you guys. And something really interesting is happening here with the masculine and the feminine energies, and this is happening internally. You might even see it being reflected in your relationships here. Obviously the world is like the cosmic hermaphrodite. It is the masculine and the feminine. I'm seeing the wings here too. Reminds me of Ma'at, like Libra energy. Communication, relationships may be really significant here. There's fresh cardinal air. There is balance. And when I look at the masculine and the feminine side of the spread, it's really interesting because I get the Emperor on the feminine side of the spread, and the Emperor is obviously the divine masculine. And on the masculine side of the spread, I get the Queen of Pentacles, which is this really beautiful, nurturing, feminine, receptive energy. And I think what's happening is that there's expansion taking place within these two polarities. And I'm talking to somebody who obviously is becoming so much more whole and understands that we're not just operating from some like basic dualistic nature or paradigm here. There's blending, there's flexibility and fluidity that's required as we move through life. And what's happening at this time is that you might find that the feminine energy, in a way, is kind of taking the lead and taking center stage. And on the masculine side, you're actually acting from a feminine place and doing this really consciously. And on the feminine side of the spread, which is this real like intuitive subconscious, it's this like inner kind of space, you might be working on self-control, setting boundaries with yourself. And there's a sense of like, I want to say emotional kind of sovereignty that I get with this Emperor showing up on the feminine side of the spread, because there's an understanding of the emotions, there's an acceptance, being able to feel it and knowing when it's appropriate to act from that place, when we want to extend that or pull that energy back. There's real powerful energy that's happening. There's something really, really powerful that's taking place right now, and it's expansion of these polarities. And what I will say about this Emperor card is that you may be kind of feeling yourself. Like there's confidence here that's being reflected in the rest of the spread as well, and in your current situation. Like there's a real feminine power, and there's an understanding that you've almost like conquered this old chapter. Like by completing this cycle, you understand that like you've shown up and done a lot of work, and just because you make it look easy, you make it look good, doesn't mean you're lucky. It means that you've shown up with intention and done the inner work, and you're learning how to have that self-control and understanding. Like there's a real level of self-understanding here. I'm seeing all of the red on this card, and the Emperor being ruled by Aries. Like this is all about your sense of I am and belonging in the world. Like what I'm hearing is like you've earned your place, like you've earned your rank or something like that. Like not to say that you're going to be using this to control other people or be overbearing. It's just that you understand where you've come from, and you've kind of earned this position on a spiritual level. And this sense of empowerment that you have now is going to allow you to shine in the world and set the right example for other people. You can lift other people up with your energy, right? You're so strong and in control of your own life. And what you're choosing to do consciously is lead from a more feminine place, a softer place, understanding that because you're becoming more whole and integrated, and these masculine and feminine elements are more flexible and fluid, you know when to act in a way that's appropriate, or in a way that the situation is calling for you to act. And this is going to allow God, your higher self, to put you in different kind of situations where you can serve yourself and other people in different ways. And acting from this feminine place, you understand, may at this time be the most appropriate course of action, because there's something that's requiring you to nurture yourself and nurture the people around you. You're choosing to act from a place of compassion, real sensitivity here, because you understand that there's an emotional process that's taking place. We need to have reverence for the emotions. They're telling us things. They're signaling things to us. And we want to live a life of joy and happiness and inner harmony. And to do that, we've got to listen to our emotions and do things that excite us and light us up and empower us, right? And there's something here about the realm of the pentacles and money and health and physical stability. And it's like you're nurturing this aspect, this area of your life. You may have planted some really good seeds in the past, and now you're giving them space to grow. You're giving them room to grow. You're feeding them with water and sun and nutrients, and feeding them with love and setting that example, nurturing the people that are around you. And it's really, really beautiful. And I just love it. I just absolutely adore it. Like, I'm so, so proud of you guys, because the World card says that you've done a lot to get here. Like, it's taken a lot of work to get to this point. So definitely give yourself a pat on the back and keep nurturing yourself in the way that you are. Because intuitively, I feel like you know that the situation calls for it. And there's some kind of a sequence here. There's like a journey or a storyline where it's kind of started with this Queen of Cups frequency and really tapping into your intuition. There may have been some point in the past where you have chosen to really like lean into that practice, or there's something in your life that has triggered a need to really go within. The Queen of Cups is like this really emotionally centered, feminine, like heart-based kind of energy. And I think it's interesting that you can see on this card, there's like this crown chakra activation or something that's taking place as the water, or as the surface of the water kind of meets the air right at that point. So you may have found that there's been like a lot of shadow work done here, where there's been a lot of like information bubbling up from the subconscious that you've had to process. You've been put in a position where you've really had to do the inner work in order to grow, because you understood intuitively that there was something else out there that was out there for you, that was more than what you were currently experiencing. And it's something that was more feminine. It's like your feminine side was really not getting its needs met. And you've actually taken the time to recognize that and feel that and alchemize anything that wanted to come up. And it's a feeling process. You understand that. And what you're able to do now is stay really grounded as the Queen of Pentacles in this kind of new identity that is one of the intuitive. It's an identity that is one of the healer, who can connect with their emotions and what they're feeling, understand that kind of understand that kind of messaging, and actually do the processing that feeling is actually doing. It's actually processing and creating that fluid, watery movement in your body. You've been going through this process, and through going like into those depths of your subconscious and processing this information, it's allowed you to tap into your intuition in a way that potentially you couldn't do before. And it's like you guys have been uncovering like some kind of abilities, intuitive abilities and psychic gifts, just some kind of level of awareness, even if it's bodily awareness or being able to receive those downloads from spirit and from your guides. And what's happened through you actually going through that process, doing that shadow work and really connecting to your femininity, it's moved you into a space of being the King of Wands, which is so interesting. And it's like, it's so dynamic. Like I was saying at the start of the reading, I've really never encountered a spread like this that was so balanced and well-rounded. And that word dynamic is really pinging me. There's so much to you guys. There's so much depth. And through this inner exploration that you've been doing, there's a really major realization that you have the ability to take control over your own life. And you can be a leader on whatever scale that resonates, whether you think you're here to lead other people, or it's just you actually taking the lead in your own life and making your own decisions, taking control over your emotional awareness, your ability to connect with yourself, and then taking control over your behaviors, your actions, your vision, actually being able to connect with the things that bring you enjoyment and light you up. Like, there's been this major journey of self-discovery for many of you. You've actually discovered who you really are, who you want to be, and what it is you want to experience in this life. And now you've turned into this like passionate leader, in a sense, on whatever scale that resonates. And now I feel like you're at this point where maybe you've been potentially like in and out of this energy, or it feels a little bit experimental, or you're in the beginning stages of some kind of new chapter in your life, a brand new era. And I feel like right now, what is happening is this expansion of the masculine and the feminine being able to like experience more fluidity in that sense. And there's like self-reflection that's happening here. Looking back into the past, seeing the truth very clearly. There's this real kind of intellectual activity that's taking place right now with the Queen of Swords, because that's the next card in this sequence, right? And what you can't really see it, but she's looking back. It's reversed, right? But she's looking back at the other cards in this spread. Like, you've got the Queen of Cups into the King of Wands, into the Queen of Swords, looking back into the past. And it's like, by going through this process and achieving this world frequency where you feel like a cycle has been complete, you're able to take that pause, take a breath out, look back into the past, and with all of this wisdom that you have now, you see the truth. You see things clearly. You see things logically too. And there's been this message coming out the past few days about like a new logical framework that is built on spirituality, a new logical framework that is built on your intuition. It's a new identity that you're becoming used to. And there's things now that you can just see it. You just see the truth. And what's being asked of you in a sense is the forgiveness, the letting go. And I feel like intuitively this is taking place, and you're having to nurture yourself through this and continue to build the reality that you want to build through actually letting go of the past. Because you can see all this like symmetry on this card. Like, you can see there's this real symmetry action on this card. You can see crows might be significant here, and you can see it on the King of Wands as well. This muse of inspiration, this really feminine King of Wands here. So there's an understanding, I think, that, you know, you have to heal the past in order to move forward into the future and to create the future that you want. The Queen of Swords is very much about that. And some kind of like cord cutting might be significant here. And I think just on an intellectual level, you guys are separating yourself from the past and choosing to let it go and making statements like, you know, that person is not a part of me anymore. That experience is not a part of me anymore. Like, I have all of the wisdom and the understanding, and I'm ready to move forward where energetically I'm not attached anymore. I can take all of the wisdom from those past experiences, but energetically I'm not attached to these old people, situations, whatever it is. I really see you guys doing this at this time. And all the crows are telling me that this ending intuitively really needs to happen on an energetic level. And on the bottom of the deck, when it comes to that sequence of events, I get the Judgment card, which is rebranded as this Awakening card, which really beautifully sums it all up and puts a bow on it, because the Judgment is very much about forgiving the past and seeing things clearly and seeing how other people have affected you and how you have affected other people, and just calling judgment on the situation, calling something or calling it for what it is, or whatever that just saying is. So just seeing it for what it is, right? But without shame. Without guilt, just with love and acceptance, and understanding that you can build a more ideal future for yourself. And now you know how to, or in a way it's like, well, you know, I made this decision in the past, or this other person made this decision and acted in this kind of way, and would we do it all again? Probably not. And I can choose to create a new way of life, create a new identity, or a new way of like actually going about things in the future. And so that sense of autonomy and like confidence in your own abilities now is allowing you to let go of the past. And it's almost like going back to what I was saying before about how it's not necessarily luck here. It's some kind of unseen force, something bigger than the ego identity that is driving this whole thing forward, because it's a spiritual awakening, and it is your connection to your higher self, and it is your soul who is really driving this thing forward in a way where it might feel like you're being put in a situation where life is kind of signaling to you that you need to reflect. You might find yourself at a kind of like spiritual crossroads where you understand that it's the right time to move forward and let go. Energetically, intuitively, spiritually, you just feel like you're at some kind of choice point here. And that's what the Judgment card is. It's your soul driving this thing forward and saying it's time. And this kind of leads me to this last card that I pulled before we kind of see where this whole thing is going. Because I get double mission, Lightworker Starseed, serve the world by being you. Because there's a greater cause here. There's a greater mission. And if you clicked on this reading and you're resonating with it, you've made it to this point, I must say, it's like you're here for something bigger and there's a double mission involved. And the double mission is you connecting to that soul self and doing this integration and this growth and this expansion and being on this individual journey and learning what your soul wanted to learn in this lifetime. That's one part of the mission. And the other part is to actually serve the world by being this new expanded version of self, just by being you, just by shining your light. You may resonate with some like feelings around, you know, being driven towards a greater purpose or being driven towards finding the truth of who you are, feeling like something's been missing in your life since you were really young, feeling like you were meant for something more. And you don't have to have this grand plan, and it doesn't have to be this big thing. It's just you connecting with yourself, finding your light and being able to shine that light outwards and set the example just by being yourself. And that's how the double mission is accomplished, by you showing up, doing this inner work exactly like you've been doing, making it to this point of spiritual graduation, and then sharing it with the world. And that's what I think this Judgment card is about, because it's like the world card is the completion. And then the Judgment card comes before the world. So it's almost like you're in the energy of the world, and now you're being asked to act from that place. You're integrated. You've become whole, and now you're acting. Now you're being asked to act from that place. You're being asked to speak from that place, right? You're being asked to connect with other people emotionally from that place of being whole. Act as if you are in this new identity, because you are. You're here now and you've arrived. And I think that's a big part of this message here. It's kind of saying, like, you've arrived. This is this version of you now that you really always wanted to be. So it's time to shine that light outwards, really, and show other people that that's who you are now. I'm really getting that. And there's something about wealth with the Ten of Pentacles flying straight out. It's like you're going to get paid to do it. But this is like long term. And look, it's in whatever way you resonate with this, you know what I mean? Some of you guys are really not about luxury and opulence, and some of you are, and either way is totally fine. There's nothing inherently bad here about any of that energy. But what I really feel this Ten of Pentacles is saying is that this is about a legacy here. You know, for many of you, this is building, as the Queen of Pentacles, building that sense of like generational wealth, being able to provide for your family and set up some kind of a foundation where your lineage can continue to expand and work on this double mission and serve the world with this wealth. Like, you've been living like yes, the same. You've been living like no one else, so you can live and give you can live and give like no one else. Shout out to anyone who knows where that saying comes from. So but you know, there's something that can be said about this. I think connecting with this authenticity, your true purpose in your life, your true mission, connecting to that mission, understanding that you're here for something greater, you're here to serve the collective by being yourself, and then getting paid to do it. You know what I mean? There's something that can really be said about that, and I think you guys are really connecting with that idea of like, I have enough self-worth and self-value here, and I understand that like I deserve to have this stability in my life. Like, I deserve to get paid what I feel like I'm worth because I put the work in. You know what I mean? It's like the Picasso napkin story, right? Like, you've put so much time into this craft, like these experiences that have shaped this new version of you that is a mentor, a leader, a healer. Like, you've put a lot of time into this. You deserve to have the stability that comes with that, because with that physical stability, it actually creates an environment where you can continue to expand mentally, spiritually. If you don't get lost in the material, if you maintain a healthy connection with the material earthly realm, it just allows you to expand even further. There's nothing inherently bad about it. And that's why I think the Strength card is coming out. It's like you guys are striking this balance. Now I'm looking at the Emperor card as well. Like, you're striking this balance between somebody who has worked really hard to achieve this kind of position and really knows that, like, you're good. It's like, you know, some of you guys, like I was saying, like, you make it look good. Like, some of you guys make it look really easy, and you know that, and you're really feeling yourself, and you're striking this balance between somebody who's connected to their value and knows that they deserve to get paid what they're worth and receive that security, that stability, and that stable foundation, and balance that out with being this, like, humble servant for their higher self and for the collective. You're, like, holding both of these truths. I wasn't really expecting this reading to go in this direction, but I must say, like, there's so much spiritual maturity here, and that's why, in a way, it might feel like you're being given what you really need in terms of the earthly realm. And it's because of the work that you're doing, like, from this feminine place of the Queen of Pentacles. Like, you're allowing this thing to grow, and you're being patient with it. This is how you don't get lost in the material realm, is like, you're able to stay connected to yourself and to the divine. Like, you're not coming from a place of, like, neediness or impatience, and you're being asked to continue doing this work. Like I was saying before, there's a reason why you've been showing up in the Queen of Pentacles energy. Intuitively, you know that it's required right now. You need to nurture something. You need to allow these seeds to grow, and you're kind of being asked to keep doing it because there's some kind of, like, really nice investment or, like, a gift, a windfall of money, a real sense of, like, long-term security that is happening for you guys. I mean, I ask what's coming next, and I get the Ten of Pentacles, and it's like Spirit, in a way, is saying, like, it's coming. You're getting this security, so stay patient. And when it does come in, continue to use it responsibly. Continue to stay connected with your higher self and the divine. And it's like Spirit, your higher self, really wants you to have this abundance. Really wants you to have this sense of security and stability, because you're able to then live and give like no one else. You're able to serve the collective in a way that's like, you have more freedom. You have more stability, more freedom to do the things that you want to do, go where you want to go, meet the people that you want to meet. And I get the Chariot on the bottom of the deck, which is a successful journey, Ace of Pentacles, and the Seven of Pentacles. So what did I say? Like, it's everything's totally happening for you guys. Seriously, it's because of the work that you've been putting in up until this point. So keep doing what you're doing, because intuitively, you're moving in the right direction. You've planted the right seeds. You've been nurturing this thing and allowing it to grow. And everything in this reading is saying it's working. Things are moving forward. Stay balanced as the Chariot card. Keep balancing the masculine and the feminine, and these two opposing, I don't know, opposing truths, but like you're balancing these two truths that say, like, I'm the shit, basically, and I'm also a humble servant for God. Like, you got to stay balanced in those two areas, you know what I mean? And you're going to get everything that comes with that. You're going to continue to get paid what you're worth. You're going to continue to receive everything that you need to make this dream happen. It's just going to require you to keep being patient, keep trusting the process, keep working with the signs and the synchronicities, keep connecting to that intuition, because you've got it all going on, guys. You're so well-rounded. You're in some kind of magician energy here where you've got all of the elements, all of the court cards. Like, it's like if this is an external team that you're working with, it's like the Avengers or something. And if this is happening internally, it's just like everything's working on the same page. It's like this well-oiled machine. So keep using all of the elements at your disposal. It's like this crazy feminine magician kind of energy, and it's cause for celebration with the Three of Cups under that. So let's go. So what I'll say is, like, maybe take the time to keep doing this reflection that you find yourself in right now, like separating yourself from this old energy, and take a moment to really celebrate how far you've come. And you know how to do this responsibly without going backwards, and you guys know what I mean by that, because you've been doing all this shadow work, right? You know how to celebrate responsibly. Take yourself out to dinner or something, you know what I mean? Because you've earned it. You've done a lot to get here. You've worked really hard, and a major cycle has officially come to completion. So it's time to really share that with the world and act from this new place, this new identity that you've created for yourself. So with that, I'm totally going to leave it there, guys. Thank you so much for doing all of this amazing work and for sharing this incredible space with me. I'm so grateful for you in the way that you show up and support me every day. And I absolutely cannot wait to do it all again in the next reading. I love you guys so much. Bye-bye.